People in Britain are expressing shock about a murder that some call barbaric. Authorities say the suspected attackers appeared to embrace extremist Muslim ideology.
We have had confirmation from senior Whitehall sources that the man who was killed in Woolwich in South London yesterday was a member of the armed forces. There have been reports that he was wearing a T-shirt of a charity which supports the armed forces. Those haven't been confirmed yet, but it has been confirmed from senior Whitehall sources that he was a member of the armed forces. Currently, the two men accused of this attack are in hospital under police guard after being shot and wounded by police after the man had been killed.
He then walks back to where a man believed to be a soldier lies dead, the victim of what witnesses say was an horrific attack by two men. Police arrived not long after. The two suspects were shot but not killed and are in hospital.
Get back! Get back! Move back! Move back!
The amateur video shows police treating the suspects on the ground. Detectives said the victim of the attack was pronounced dead at the scene. Eyewitnesses said he was butchered and his body left on the road.
We swear by the Almighty Allah, we will never stop fighting you until you leave us alone. We must fight them as they fight us, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. I apologise that women had to witness this today, but in our land, our women have to see the same. You people will never be safe. Remove your governments, they don't care about you. Do you think David Cameron is going to get caught in the street? When we start busting our guns, do you think the politicians are going to die? No, it's going to be the average guy like you.
Now, the attack triggered a lot of anger and tension. Immediately after the attack on Wednesday afternoon, already people were gathering in the southeast London neighborhood. In fact, more than 100 people gathered near this site in protest. This is really a working class neighborhood, and it has a long history of ties to the military. Last night, members of the right-wing English Defence League actually filled some of the streets here before they were turned back by riot police. In the meantime, a lot of local residents here have been leaving flowers at the gates to the Royal Artillery Barracks, which is right next door here to us. And one British MP said the victim was stationed at these barracks and he was returning back to the barracks when he was attacked.
This is as far as we can go because the police cordon here is sealing off this area. It is, of course, a crime scene. But in the distance there you can see a tent and the police vans. There are forensic officers now combing that area. We believe at the moment the victim's body is still there. So what do we know about what happened? Well, it appears that the victim was run into by a car. The two men then got out of that car and with a meat cleaver or perhaps two attacked him viciously. At first people thought he was trying to help him, having run him down, that it was all a terrible accident. But then they realised it was far more sinister than that.
The UK Government's Emergency Response Committee will meet again today in the wake of a machete killing in broad daylight on a London street. Prime Minister David Cameron will chair the emergency Cobra session himself. A 20-year-old man, unofficially described as a soldier, was hacked to death in the suburb of Woolwich near this large military complex. Bystanders filmed one of the alleged attackers. Speculation's rife in the media and on the streets that this is a jihadist attack. There have been sporadic clashes overnight between far-right activists and police.
Enough's enough. Our message is enough. We have weak leaders, weak police. Our police and our leaders tiptoe around this issue. This issue is political Islam. It's political Islam that's spreading across this country.
A murder inquiry has been launched by police counter-terrorism experts. 2 men have been arrested.
I think it's pretty clear that what's happened tonight in Woolwich is a sickening and unforgivable act of violence, and I know that thoughts of millions of Londoners and people around this country will be with the family of the victim tonight. It is really far too early for us to draw conclusions, and what we need to do now is just get the full facts. That's why I'm going to do tonight. Thank you.
Prime Minister David Cameron called a meeting of the British Cabinet's Emergency Committee. Speaking on a trip to Paris, he put on a brave face and vowed Britain would stand strong.
The best way to defeat terrorism is to make sure that you continue to go about your life. We will not be cowed, we will never buckle under these sorts of attacks. The terrorists will never win because they can never beat the values that we hold dear.
Police have reinforced their presence around Woolwich, an area of southeast London home to a major military barracks.